Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live Q&A session, all about postgraduate degrees in the field of education. I'm Joanna, I'm a senior lecturer and the Director of Learning and Teaching from the School of Education here at the University of Glasgow, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this live session. I'm joined today by some of our students who will talk about their experiences here in Glasgow and answer your questions. So if there's anything you want to ask the panel, you can put your question in the chat, and any relevant links will be also posted there for you. So now it's time to meet our panel. Hello, everyone. So we've got Jamishek, Catherine, and Stuart. Would you like to introduce yourselves to our viewers? You can tell us about your name, the program that you're studying, and the country that you came from.
So, hi everyone. My name is Jamishek Bek, and I am studying for master's degree in educational studies, and I am from Uzbekistan.
Hi everyone. My name is Stuart Kutsia. I'm also doing a master's in educational studies, and I am from South Africa.
Welcome.
Hiya, I'm Catherine. I'm also doing a master's in educational studies, so glad we're all in the same boat. And I'm from the United States.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, we've got a few questions that have been prepared by viewers in advance. We'll start from those, and if there's anything coming, we'll relate to those as well. So I would like to start with asking you about your motivation for choosing Glasgow. Why here? Catherine, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one first. For me, I've had an interesting journey where I have only had my higher education experience in the UK. So I applied and got into St. Andrews in 2019. I did my 4-year undergraduate degree there in English literature. And for me, I got really involved in student governance. So I knew that my degree program was going to shift to education or higher education management. That's where all of my passion really was. I think I was spending more time on the volunteer work sometimes than my degree, which isn't great. I applied and got into Glasgow in 2023 because they had the Education, Public Policy and Equity program, which for me was absolutely perfect. I love to work in EDI policy expansion in universities in the UK. Obviously, funding in the US isn't great for that, so UK it is. And then I actually ended up having to pause my degree and start up again now in educational studies. So I've been really grateful that I chose Glasgow in the first place for the support that I've gotten in re-entering the master's program and making sure I come out with my MSc. But yeah, that's why I'm at Glasgow, I'd say, beyond just the lovely music scene too. So
yeah, thank you. And the master's in education, public policy and equity is still an offer, still very much strong, running strong. So thank you for that. Jamishek, would you like to tell us about your motivation and your journey to Glasgow?
Yes, I can. There are many reasons. I chose the University of Glasgow because it offers excellence in teaching, in research, and I particularly attracted by the particular attention to diversity, inclusion, because this aligns with my interest, and in the future I'm going to be included like specialist in education. And now after starting my studies here in January, I made sure it was the program I really wanted, because they are providing me with all the necessary knowledge and the skills I wanted, and it was a main reason. And also, University of Glasgow has a strong leading reputation, not in the UK, but also in the world. It made me feel proud to study here.
Yeah, thank you. And I think, we need to add that inclusion really is one of our core values here in the School of Education, and really something that is weaved in through all of our programs. I mean, we do offer specialized programs in inclusive education, but this is also something that you can choose as an elective on a number of different programs. So thank you. Thank you for that. Stuart, what about you?
Yeah, so my journey started, I did with a degree in computer science as my undergraduate, and then immediately went into lecturing at my university back home, and really just fell in love with the aspect of teaching, but also researching teaching, being in that university sphere. And then last year, I got the opportunity, I was awarded a scholarship to come study at the UK. And when choosing the university I want to study at, I think Glasgow was definitely after a lot of research, one of my top options. I think on the one hand, very highly ranked overall, but also very highly ranked with the education specifically. And that's something was quite important to me, knowing that I only have one shot at, coming to the UK for a degree. I wanted to make it count. And then also just the city itself of Glasgow. It's just so historical, so beautiful. Just getting to live here is an experience in its own. So yeah, the culture, the people, even just the buildings when you're walking through the city, it's just really incredible. So it was kind of a no-brainer at that point that this is the city I wanted to do my master's in.
Thank you, Stuart. And we're very proud here in Glasgow for the quality of our teaching, but also quality of our research, that research really informs our learning and teaching. So we're very proud about that real close bond. Thank you for sharing your journeys and your motivations. They're really inspiring. You touched a little bit about, why Glasgow, and I wonder what is your favorite thing about your program so far. And I know that you've started slightly different times, so some of you had a little bit more experience than others. So how about we start with you, Stuart, because you're the newest entry to the university.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've been here for about 2 months now, and I think everything has really exceeded my expectations. My favorite thing with the degree specifically has just been kind of how the master's is set up, how the classes are set up. With the flipped classroom approach, it's very different from me sitting in lectures and just kind of passively receiving knowledge and having to just listen to someone else speak. But it's actually, you go home, you get to go through the material, get to go through all the work, and then you come together in your classes, sometimes for 1 hour, sometimes for 2 hours, and you just discuss it with your peers. You do practical examples, class activities, and it's just such an experiential learning that I haven't really experienced before, and it really aids to understanding the concepts, bouncing ideas off each other, especially because it's such a diverse and international class. You get perspectives from people from all over the world, and you kind of make the content yourself in class. So that's really been a highlight for me.
Thank you. And I think that approach to learning and teaching that we take in the School of Education, in fact, across the university, is really attractive and really important. There's interactive teaching, experiential teaching, problem-based learning that we give you to solve in the class. We don't tell you the answers. We want you to work them out by yourselves, and we challenge you often. So yeah, thank you for noticing that this is working, and it's really something that we value. Jamie Shubak, how about you?
For me, there are many things I can count about my favorite things in Glasgow, but there is a thing I really like it about the teaching quality, the same opinion with the Stuart, because here teachers very supportive, knowledgeable, and the thing they are very passionate about their subjects, and they also encourage us to be critical thinkers, being creative, and as soon as they have free time, they always were welcoming to be. If you have any question, we can ask. They can support us. It doesn't matter, and they are very. Yeah, they have a special knowledge because they connect the lesson with real world, and it makes the lesson very interesting and interactive. And I really enjoy it. And I'm thinking like I'm not getting only like academic or some like theoretical knowledge. I'm getting also practical knowledge because our lessons linked with the real life, and it made the lessons very special for me.
Thank you. And I think again, we're very proud of the fact that we have academic staff who are experts in the field, and then they teach to their strength, they teach to their research. So research really informs our teaching, and we do take this applied approach to teaching. Is very much embedded in real context. So thank you. Catherine, you've had the most experience. So what's the best about your program so far, the one that you're studying at the moment?
Yeah, I would say it's the people, both the staff side and the student side. For the one hand, on the student side, I love that we all come from such different backgrounds, and I don't mean necessarily internationally. Obviously, there is like a high Chinese population as well in our degree program this year, but it's fascinating seeing all the different like provinces and education experiences everyone's had. Particularly, obviously Stuart did computer science, I did English Lit in my background. I've met people who've done fashion design, who've done accounting, who've done government, like bureaucracy regulations, everything. So it's really interesting to see that we all ended up in this program, and having such different perspectives, especially in our past like careers or academia, means that we're bringing in, for me, I think really, I don't know, I think the most useful thing is to have a different perspective in education. So for me, that's incredibly useful and something I wouldn't get anywhere else. And then on the other side, for the people, the staff side, more than anything, how supportive and kind everyone is too. Obviously, like Stuart and Joe Shadak have talked about the actual quality of teaching, fully agree. But for me, it's like if you need someone to go to, you have a new interest that's not getting covered in a lecture, there's always someone who you can go and talk to. And they're more than happy to talk to you about it. For me, it's like Dr. Sadia Ali, Dr. Benjamin Mulvey, Mark Murphy, the staff as well, Aurora Stewart, Maria Sid Castilla. There's so many brilliant members, both on the teaching and admin staff, who are always going to be there for you. So you're walking into the school with such a good foundation of support, no matter what. Those are my favorite things. I feel like knowing that there's ground underneath me during my studies, I would say.
Thank you. Yeah, and then the people who teach on the programs and support you kind of more widely, whether the program administrators or wider support team, are fabulous, and they're always here for you. We've got a saying in Glasgow that people make Glasgow, and I think it applies to the university as well, that everyone is fully committed to their work and their students. So thank you. There's an interesting question in the chat about the difference between two routes in educational studies, MSc and MEd. You're all on the MSc route, which is a specialized route, specialized master's program, but that welcomes students from diverse backgrounds with diverse bachelor's degrees. And it really assumes that students have no background in education, that they come into this program to open their experience, to apply their previous knowledge to the new context, and then gain qualification with a relevance to education and educational settings. The MEd, on the other hand, is assuming that people who apply to this program and people who will study this route have background in teaching. So there is a requirement that applicants will have some relevant experience in teaching. Many of them will be teachers who want further master's qualification in education and kind of applying it to the higher level. But it might be other opportunities or other experiences. There might be tutors, there might be working in private schools, there might be private tutors, they might be working in early years settings as well. So it's not limited to being a qualified teacher, but there's an expectation of having about 2 years of relevant experience in teaching and in education. So that's the MEd, more sort of professional route. So I hope that answers the questions of colleagues or people who are watching. We're always very happy to look at case-by-case basis and advise applicants individually which route might be more suitable for them. So at application, please do reach out to our colleagues. They're always happy to advise if you're not sure which route would be more suitable to you. So thank you for that question. It's really important. I wonder, all of you are from outside the UK originally, and you chose to come to a completely new country, to a completely new culture. And I wonder how easy it was for you to settle in Glasgow, and what support was available at those sort of first few weeks or first few months. Who would like to start? Because you all come from very very diverse places. Jamie Shibak, let's start with you.
Yes, I can share my experience. It was actually easier to settle in than I expected. The reason, in January, we came with many Uzbek students and we start our studies together, and it made me feel at home and very quickly. And the environment at the university are so supportive. The people, staff are very welcoming, and the services are available for students. They are very it can be very support for students like me. And when talking about program, in the very beginning, we had like induction sessions about the program, about the city, and our program leader like taught me some like basic knowledge and how to adapt easily. But the one thing I received as a challenge, it was a weather, because when compared to my back home, it is totally different, because in my country we have a lot of sunny days, and our bodies used to have sun every day. But here we have quite a lot of rain, and sometimes it may feel like pressure or stressed. But with time I managed to adapt the weather, and now I like everything about Glasgow, the weather, everything. It's very good.
Yeah, Stuart, I think you can sympathize with that coming from South Africa as well.
Yeah, very much. I think that was you would think the adjustments would be in other aspects, but it's really mostly the weather. But I actually enjoy the weather much more here, even though there's a bit less sunshine. You're not always hot all the time, and it's just so nice to be in a nice warm room, nice warm bed. And yeah, just the overall, adapting to everything else. I think there's not really much you can do to adapt to the weather, to help you adapt to the weather. But everything else is really so well taken care of. It's not about what support is offered. It's almost like what support isn't offered at the university. And there's a team, dedicated to helping international students adapt and feel welcome and host events, even for non-international students. From the moment I arrived, which was a week before Freshers Week, I was already joining events and socials. And there's so much assistance. They're available every single day if you want to just talk to them, get advice, from visas, bank accounts, just making friends. I think, yeah, that's one thing that I thought was going to be a challenge, but actually ended up being super easy. So all you need to really worry about is buying a jacket.
That's really delighted to know, and I think that is very important, that we want to make the process as easy as possible for you and as smooth as possible. And there are teams available, but there's also, like you said, the other students who are so willing to make friends, build new networks, and I think that's really quite you can experience that willingness and that kind of that warmth, culture, and welcome. Catherine, how about you?
I feel like I definitely relate to the weather. I'm from Southern California originally, so I'm very much used to desert heat. And the first time I came to Scotland, when I was 18, I was on the East Coast, especially, which is so much colder, I think. The wind, Jesus Christ, sorry, but awful. Then coming here, what I would say is you really learn through trial and error more than anything. Obviously, there is support. It's more about actually you reaching out and taking it and not being afraid to speak to people, like both Stuart and Jamshadak have said, because that's where you learn a lot. Like, I think I learned the most about settling in Scotland really from some of my old neighbors, a couple of years back when I first moved in, and like befriending more locals in a way, looking in your city council into local events, the farmers market. I think you really get to know people that way too, and kind of step outside of the university more into this, again, like we said, this beautiful historic city. And I would also recommend too, maybe even looking into some student blogs, I know, or those little get ready with me videos on YouTube, or day in a life of a student at Glasgow, because maybe it's not exactly your cup of tea, but there's the basic things, again, like, seriously, the bank account, which energy provider will save you, the most money, cheapest grocery stores, fun day trips from Glasgow, going up to Loch Lomond, maybe going up to Edinburgh and hopefully not freezing, best place to get a good jacket, good charity shops. There's all these things of settling into the city that go way beyond your course. So you don't need to panic about them, but it's good to kind of, settle into those things as well. And through that, you'll have some really amazing experiences and hopefully meet some new people. So definitely there is support. It's definitely about just reaching out and taking it.
Great, thank you. And I think, we often say in Glasgow, going back to the weather, there's more raindrops in the year than there's stars in the sky. So we can look at it in a kind of positive way as well. But just, kind of on a more serious note, there's so much that can make up for the maybe colder weather to some of you might be used to. So I think the vibe of the city and the support that you get in the people is really, really making up for the slightly colder weather. There's quite a few questions in the chat around kind of opportunities, maybe post-masters, sort of PhD opportunities. And I wonder, I know you are at quite early stages of your master's degree. And I wonder whether you have received any sort of guidance or support on, future maybe career destinations or academic destinations, if that's what you're interested in. And if not, I can also answer what we can offer at the school level about the PhDs, kind of as a progression route from masters as well. Is any of you interested in the PhD, or should I just cover the question?
I would say, not to throw Stuart under the bus, but I thought, you're discussing PhD, so be curious to hear about your impressions. I'm more on the career side, I'd say. So
more applied work, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say it was one of the first things I wanted to start discussing when I arrived here was, okay, what's next? With the master's program only being 1 year, I just want to stay ahead of everything. So there is, I don't know if it's next week or the week after that, but there is a session hosted for almost like an information session on PhD, what to expect, what to do. But I've also taken it into my own hands and spoken to one of my lecturers, also the head of the postgraduate program for this master's degree, and just found out what it's like to go forward. What funding opportunities are there? What do I need to be doing now to enable myself to be getting into a PhD? So there's been a lot of very helpful practical steps. Obviously you need to be paying attention to your marks and choosing topics for your assignments and your dissertation that will enable you to get a good PhD topic and go into an area where there is funding. And I think also just having those connections now and getting the support from the lecturers is also quite important. There's another lecturer that when they're doing research might get funding opportunities that students can come and join and kind of be a research assistant for them. So just making yourself available for those opportunities and grabbing those opportunities, also just kind of stepping out and making yourself known, saying, hey, I would like to participate in this, can also just help add to your academic CV. Even though I've worked as a lecturer for just over 2 years, you're competing with how many people across the world that also want funding for a PhD here. So I think that's the important considerations, is also, why am I doing this? Am I doing it just because I want to be qualified, or am I doing this because I want to make a difference? Do you want to make a difference back home? Do you want to make a difference here? And all those things will lead towards, why you do your PhD and how you do it, where you do it. So those were really helpful tips that I received.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. Yeah, and we do offer, academic progression is one of the routes available to students on master's programs. And historically, we have quite a good conversion rate of students who complete masters that do progress to PhD. So we do offer that support along the line, whether it is with drafting your PhD proposal and the application process, and of course we'll be pointing you towards any available funding and scholarship as well. So that is of course available, and then staff here are very supportive and happy to assist along the way. But there are questions about other routes as well. Like the PhD and academic route is one possibility. Many of our students go into applied positions, go into working in NGOs, third sector organizations, government, or private sector as well, in fact. And there are opportunities to gain skill-based experiential learning in the programs. There are opportunities to engage with research. Most of our staff are research active. They work on active research projects, and they often seek student interns. There's an internship hub at the university where we post those opportunities. The students can apply. And same with sort of other, there's more policy desk-based work as well. I wonder whether you had opportunities to engage in any of these extracurricular activities or gain any experience, more practical experience in your program. Catherine, you're nodding.
Yeah, I actually, I'm really pleased. I just secured a paid internship with the School of Education for the community engagement and inclusion intern with the student experience team for the Connected project. And that is, dare I say, right up my alley. It's specifically helping with creating better community support and resources for widening participation students, which when you look at the context of Scotland, obviously, there are quite a lot of students who then qualify for widening participation who are national, rather than obviously all of us are international as well. So I'm really, really excited to step into that role, and there's opportunity to progress further. In my original time, I was a class representative. I've run for other positions. There's student champion spots you can take. There's the guest society as well, the Glasgow University Educators Society, student educators. And I mean, there's so many places you can go and get that experience, whether it's paid or not, will then add to your future career progression. For me, I found that when I've applied for jobs in the past, the part that they're most curious about is what opportunities did I take beyond my degree, whether or not they're paid. So I do think that taking advantage of those, especially in the School of Education, is, the right move to make. They can be competitive depending if they're paid or not, but there is always going to be an opportunity. So I'd say keep your eyes open for that more than anything.
Great, thank you. Would you like to add, Jamshbek?
Yeah. During my studies here, I tried to make the most of my time here, not only spending my time on academic life, but also in social life. And that's why I tried to participate in many volunteering projects so far. And it was a great opportunity to expand my networking, making new friends, learning cultures, and immerse myself to the environment where I am living now. And it was a great experience for me. I participated in in educational conference as a ambassador, volunteer, search festival, and so on. And the thing I really like recently, I received a bronze award from SRC, Student Representative Council.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great honor because the university appreciating the things students are doing, and it is very great. It keeps me motivated because there is an appreciation. There is you feel that you feel valued, and it keeps me keep working and try to contribute to the society, to the development. Yeah, it was both academic experience here and social experience as well. It helped me a lot, and I think I boosted my CV as well.
That's fabulous. Thank you for sharing that, and congratulations on your award. That's a really fabulous achievement. Great, thank you. There's also a question in the chat about timing, and kind of one of our viewers is looking for an advice on whether we should take MSc straight after their PGDE or maybe straight after your undergraduate degree. They're coming from the US and really want to kind of combine all the education journey to 2 to 3 years. I would say do what's right for you. There's no really one size fit all answer to this. We have many students who come straight from their undergraduate or another postgraduate degree. We have loads of students who take a career for a few years and then they will figure out what they want to do next, and then they may come to a master's degree to do a career change or to enhance their career. So there's I think we really need to look at everyone's individual ambitions, desire, and situations. But I'm curious to hear from you. We've heard from Stuart a little bit about you, that you've worked for a few years at the university and you really thought this is the next step in my career progression. Catherine, you kind of came from undergrad and then wanted to swap. And Jamshbek, what was your undergraduate journey and how did you get into the master's?
So my history is quite different because my bachelor degree was in law.
Okay.
And then after graduating from my bachelor's, I applied for master's in my country, Uzbekistan. And I studied public administration law. It was law. And then after graduating from master's, I applied for a job and I started working as a teacher at university, like assistant teacher. And it was only 5 months, but it was enough me to understand it is a thing I really want, because I really like it teaching, because it is both side development. You will teach, you will learn, and it's the most important thing in every society, education. And I decided to study master's degree again in education, and I explored a lot, and I chose the University of Glasgow as a very good opportunity direction for my future career. And now I am studying in education, gaining a very necessary experience related to education. I believe the knowledge experience I have gained here so far will help me a lot when I restart my career in Uzbekistan.
Thank you for sharing that. And Catherine, you came almost straight from undergraduate. Do you see what are the kind of advantages, maybe of challenges of combining your, I guess, education journey?
Yeah, I'd say a pro for sure is that you're already in the mood to study, or perhaps you understand the program, I guess, kind of choreography in a way. I came in, I'm like, all right, I've just been in lectures a couple months ago. I'm used to being in a university environment. And my advantage, obviously called the home field advantage, was I had done all my university, work in the UK. So I was quite used to the way that lecturers were going to teach, how you interacted with them. Obviously, there will be differences versus a US lecture where some sizes, I think, what could be like 400 kids, can be quite intense. So I'd say that was the advantage in a way of already not having to adjust yourself necessarily to going back to being a student. Because I know talking to some other friends, are like, I joined the Mature Students Association, and there is that adjustment of then thinking of yourself again as a student. You can want to learn, but knowing that that's your kind of position is quite different, I think. A downside, I would say, and I think, Joanna, you touched upon this, is assessing if this is your right path forward, taking a time. I think oftentimes, especially coming from the US, I understand that there's this rush, get your degree, get a good job, get married. I'm just reciting the Trainspotting intro as well right now. But point being that, we're kind of pushed into it. It's like, get a job, save your money, become a millionaire, somehow live the American dream. But stopping and assessing and reflecting more than anything, is this your right path forward? Is this what you want? Is a really valuable skill. And I think something that is worth it more than anything. So yeah, I would say it really, again, as Joanna said, just depends on what you want. But if you're passionate about this, you feel like you've got the right information, then I'd encourage you to come to Glasgow in January and September. Don't wait, essentially. Don't let this dream pass you by in a way, because this is such a great opportunity to be here. And I think we could all say, all three of us, and probably so many more, that we're really happy that we chose Glasgow. So, it's up to you, basically.
Yeah, thank you. Now, and again, I'll remind our viewers that we do have January entries to educational studies for those who really can't wait and you want to be with us in the next couple of months. You can still apply. And we also have September entries to educational studies, but also other programs too. So there are 2 entry points to the master's degrees here in Glasgow. There's a couple of questions that kind of came up, and I wonder if you can reflect a little bit about your time here in Glasgow, what it's like to be a student at the University of Glasgow, and in fact, student who lives in the city of Glasgow. Catherine, would you like to start, maybe?
I've spoken enough for Eva, I think.
Okay, so we'll give you a minute.
His mic muted, so we can go to him first.
Okay, let's go. Jami Shibag, you unmuted yourself. Let's hear from you first.
Like being a student at the University of Glasgow, it's truly amazing. I can describe my impressions with words, but the thing I really like it, as I said before many times, the atmosphere. It's very vibrant and supportive, And I feel always motivated, feel proud to study here. And the thing I really like it as well, people, local people, every people here, very polite, very humble, and it is very easygoing. You can make a lot of friends, you can expand your networking, and there is always opportunity to develop yourself as a professional. And there is no hesitation for me that I am in the right route, and I feel like I'm doing well because I'm trying to use every service, every opportunities at University of Glasgow available to me to develop, to enhance my career, and to gain the knowledge. In one word, I can say it is inspiring. It's very good. You feel that?
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think, there is so much to do across the university, and you can engage in activities that are way beyond your subject area, really expand your horizons. But also the city offers so much in terms of culture, in terms of sort of fun. Glasgow is a UNESCO City of Music, so there's a really vibrant nightlife as well. So it's a you really, I think it kind of fits all the tastes. Thank you. We are slowly coming to the end of our scheduled time. But before you go away, I really want you to give one piece of advice to anyone who is thinking about joining university or who made a decision to join university. What would be the real one piece of advice for someone who is at the start of that journey? Something that you've learned. Stuart, would you like to start?
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, apart from choose Glasgow, I think a piece of advice that I can give is you're going to be presented with so many opportunities while being here. Make the most out of them all and take the opportunities that you want. I mean, everything from sports. I mean, there's how many different sports clubs. If you want to be a part of the skydiving club, the rock climbing club, it's just all these different things academically as well, whether it's electives, seminars, conferences, just one-on-ones with your lecturers, even societies. Even if you don't find a society for you, you can create a society. Mm-hmm. So there's things off of campus as well that maybe aren't part of the university, other clubs, other social things. Yes, you're here for an education, but you also have an opportunity to develop yourself, first of all, in your career, but also just personally, socially, and all around, just really find out about these opportunities before coming, when you arrive here, and make the most out of it, because it's a year that will definitely make a lasting impact on your life.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. And I think you're absolutely right. You might only be here for 12 months, but those 12 months might be very formative in your life, and then you will grow holistically as a person. You will gain, a specialized qualification, but you will also develop so many other skills. So thank you for that advice. Jamie Shibek.
Yes. For anyone who is planning to study at the University of Glasgow, I would say don't miss this golden opportunity, because Glasgow University offers excellent teaching and quality, and you feel that because you feel you are growing not only professionally but also academically, gaining academic knowledge in your field, because everything here is kind of linked to the real world, and you understand how the theories behind the practice are working. And also the university is so international. You can make a lot of friends from international countries, like I am doing right now. Catherine, Stewart, it's a very great opportunity, and you feel the sense of achievement, pride, excitement. If you want to feel these feelings, you have to just come here, and you should study or master's, whatever, and you feel that it is a university you have been dreaming of, I'm sure.
And yes, if I can add to that as well, once you study with us, you become a member of Team Glasgow for life. We will not let you go. You will be an alumni of the university, and we'll keep close links with our alumni. And we do cherish that relationship. And in fact, many of our alumni, come back after 20, 30 years, or their kids come to University of Glasgow, even their grandchildren. So I think it is a relationship that you build for life. Yeah, thank you. Catherine, what advice would you give to someone who's to Glasgow?
My advice is very simple. I think be embarrassing. Don't be afraid to be embarrassing. I think we have so much built inside of ourselves, especially you come in thinking I'm postgrad, I need to be very academic and serious. But it can be lonely, I think, especially when you're a postgrad. You're maybe the only one from your home country. You are in a whole new degree program. A lot of it sometimes can be self-study. You have great times with your lectures, and then you're on your own, you need to work. And I would just say, don't be afraid to be embarrassing. Ask the extra questions after class. Walk up to the person near you and say, hi, I'm Catherine. I think that's how I made 90% of my friends this year, is I just walked up to them and said, hey, are you not 18 years old? Because obviously there's a lot of undergrad. And, you want friends your own age, or you want people who relate to your experiences. Ask your local neighbors, walk into the shop and go like, yeah, I like this brand, I'm not sure. I mean, it's hard sometimes to be that social, but I think just really don't be afraid to ask and to be embarrassed, to be embarrassing in a way. If you feel that, I've gotten over that a lot. And I'd say once you fall on your face enough, you just don't really, you're not afraid of it. So I think that's why even I'm here on the panel today, but yeah, I think the best things I've found have come from putting myself out there, or from a situation where I thought, oh God, I'm a little embarrassed, my behavior, I'm the loud American. And then, I've made a friend, or, gotten some great advice, or found a really good slice of pizza. Like I'd recommend Sears Pizza just across from the university. Absolutely perfect. But yeah, just don't be afraid to be embarrassing, because those are the best things in life. That's when they happen. So yeah.
Right. Thank you. And I think it might feel sometimes quite vulnerable to be exposing yourself or to making the first step. But I can guarantee you that in Glasgow, no one will judge you. No one will find it embarrassing. I mean, people here are incredibly friendly. They are so open. And in fact, you'll have strangers, on the street stopping you and asking you about your day. And they are very curious about, our student population. So yeah, I don't think it's embarrassing in any way. It's just really being kind of open and friendly. And I think that's what is really the epitome of Glasgow, that openness and that friendliness.
Yeah, the first week I was here, there was a girl at a birthday sash on the subway, and everyone sang her happy birthday.
Yeah.
Like just all these random strangers together. And I thought, this is Glasgow. So yeah, it just depends where you're from, to be fair, if it's embarrassing or not. But I just thought, yeah, this all works for me. This is perfect.
Glaswegians are used to it. They probably have seen it all. So thank you everyone for everyone who posted questions. Thank you so much to our panel for their honest and generous account of their experiences here in Glasgow in the School of Education. That really brings us to the end of our Q&A. I really hope you found it useful. I really enjoyed hearing about our students' journeys. This and many other recordings from today will be made available here and also on our website in the next few days. So please do come back and watch them if you missed anything, or if you want to catch up. There are lots of other sessions happening today too, so check out the events page for the full schedule. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today. And I really hope to welcome you to campus very, very soon. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.